You've made it to Kyra Hustle Live. Sit back and learn from the greatest influencers in the profession. This episode is brought to you by Clothes for Chiro, Chiro Sushi, Barbara Eaton's 56-day chiropractic bootcamp, California Jam, Move Well University, the Black Diamond Club, Pure Chiro Notes, the Chiro Dex app, Dr. Alok Trivedi, Chiro Spark, Chirogram, Chiropractic Wealth Management, 8 Weeks to Wellness, Integrative Freedom, and Element Mattresses. Let's hustle. Hey, good morning, Kyra Hustle crew. This is Jim Chester, your host of the Kyra Hustle podcast, and I have Dr. Pam Jarboe with me with the Kyra Bloom Group. We're going to talk a lot about her, obviously. She's my guest. But first, before we get into the interview, I'm going to say that this episode is brought to you by Integrative Freedom. Dr. Charles Francis runs that group. If you guys are in the interest of doing weight loss for the chiropractic world, reach out to Dr. Charles Francis. He'll help you out. So, thank you, Dr. Charles, for sponsoring this episode of the Kyra Hustle live stream. Dr. Pam, how are you?
I'm doing great, Jim. Thanks for having me here today.
Well, I wish we could rewind to about 10 minutes ago when we were laughing our heads off. So let's continue that.
Yeah, let's keep it rolling, right?
And the best joke so far is I'm out here in the Grand Valley of Grand Junction, Colorado, the Western Slope, where no one lives, and I can get to the gym in 4 minutes. And what that's going to be one of the topics we talk about today. But you are in a town of 20 people, and how many cows are there?
14 this year.
14 cows and 20 people where Pam lives.
We're living the dream, the suburban dream.
Out here where no one lives. I love it. That's the title of the book.
Yeah, exactly.
So I know you were our 30th episode on the Kyra Hustle podcast because I keep track of that stuff. Oh. And you were I believe you were the fourth woman out of 16 that were selected for this sweet rollout of the woman's voice in chiropractic. So here's the microphone. How does it make you feel, Pam?
Oh, this is like, on the spot. I'm excited that you decided to do that. I think, we talked a little bit about it in the podcast that, I kind of was making a little bit of a joke that I noticed that there hadn't been any women. And, a lot of people will say that, there's no need, or, I've seen leaders post, things like, I think it's absolutely silly, that we need more women on the stage. And I just think it's a lack of awareness, about how important it is. And, women's needs are a little bit different. Chiropractic is gender neutral, but it's lovely that you're having women's voices on there. And, I'm honored to be one of them, and I hope that I can be helpful.
Yeah, it's been really awesome to get to know you since we've come into, a unity of friendship and being able to talk the tick and admire each other for what we do on various different levels for the chiropractic profession.
Yeah, I've enjoyed that too. It's been really nice to get to know you. It's one thing when you see someone, on social media all the time. And then another thing when you get to meet them in person and make them laugh. That's a delight. Yeah.
And, I just try to keep it light. I keep it lighthearted. I keep it silly, but I always have the one foundation that's talking the tick.
Yes. Right. Yeah. Well, there's nothing quite like chiropractic in the world, and we're lucky to be a part of it for sure.
Well, before we get deep into discussion about us, let's talk about them. So let's talk about your Kyra Bloom and what you're doing with your trust-based marketing.
Oh, well, I created an online course for people that's free if anyone is interested. And the idea behind that is just that I started working in chiropractic 30 years ago. And right away, I just noticed wow, people don't trust us. And I didn't understand that. It shocked me because I saw chiropractic as being so incredible and amazing. So one of the things, though, I worked for someone who actually wasn't really trustworthy. And that's something that I've seen over and over again, is that we don't really know about how to be trustworthy in the relationship. Whoever, oh, hi, Andrea. And whoever taught us anything, about being trustworthy.
Here's another one for you.
yeah, I know, right? Big holla to Dr. Andrea. And so I started taking some courses in marketing. It's something I've been studying for more than 5 years. And one of them was about trust-based marketing and about how marketers use psychological triggers to trigger people to trust them. So you can kind of see it in, like, for one thing I could say is like drug advertisements. You see this elderly doctor and he's like super kind and listening, to the patient, and like they're pressing all these triggers that you don't even know what they are. But, high-end marketing knows how to trigger you to trust them in an instant. And we need to know that as chiropractors, because sometimes we're actually pushing people away. I joke around with my clients and I say, I think somehow like we might have pressed on some people, we might have sprayed on some people repellent, today. And we have to learn how to do that differently, because we really want to be able to draw people into this amazing product of chiropractic. So anyway, it's a free course and it's on my website, kyrabloom.com. You can opt in and you'll start receiving, it's about 16 different classes. They're anywhere between 2 to 5 minutes each module. And it just teaches you what these high-end marketers know, and then also just how to build trust in the relationships that you have with your patients.
Yeah, that's really cool. And it gives people an idea of what it takes to make it in 2018. And I think that that's something that most people, they forget that it takes a lot of courage, takes a lot of study, it takes a lot of practice, it takes a high level of self-esteem to be able to deliver this message of chiropractic.
Right. Yeah, I know. It takes a lot of different hats that you wear. And yeah, definitely.
And one of those things is, chiropractors practice so much becoming a practitioner. They practice so much on their clinical side of their profession, but a lot of times they don't ever practice marketing.
Right. It's true. I would say that's true for me. I revered the adjustment, and I felt like it was so special that I wanted to make sure that I got really great at it. My marketing teachers, they would talk to me though about how no matter what, let's say it was like a group of magicians, they would go to, "Hi, Cindy, I love you too." Marketers, let's say they were teaching a group of magicians. The magicians would be out in the hallway doing magic tricks and ignoring the marketing techniques, and there, I just could see the parallels. We love our craft, and so we love our craft so much. And Cindy saying hi from Women Chiropractors. Yes, definitely amazing group, of resources on Facebook, as is LCW. That's a group that I helped to found. And I love all the women's movements that are happening in chiropractic. It's extraordinary.
And let me tell you this, both support me massively. So I love the fact that I have the popular vote of the woman chiropractor.
Well, yeah, it's a good thing. It's an important thing. There's a lot of incredible women in this profession, and they aren't necessarily being noticed, but partly because that's not what's important to them. What I see is they have hearts of service, and they really want to serve the profession, and they're busy serving in their families and in their communities, and they're extraordinary people. So there was a feed on Danielle Eaton's page recently where she was asking like what women are creating. And I was just amazed at the number of things that were posted there. And so, yeah, it was really great. Cindy saying, yeah, me too, for all of it. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, great stuff happening.
Yeah,
about it. So thank you for raising awareness, Jim. I appreciate it.
It's something that I knew that was necessary. Over the past 8 years of me working in the chiropractic profession, one of the things I realized, especially as I got to become like the ground zero reporter for chiropractic, I started realizing that there were some people out there that were misrepresented. And number one, that was the students, because people just don't give them a voice unless it's like a talk the tick competition.
Right.
And they don't really find their voice unless they get anointed. And I think that that's something that I get to break down the barriers of that and share the students' voice. Number one, that was the students. And, we had a crazy little feedback right there, but we're going to work right through that. And the other part,
the voices in my head. It happens.
but the other part of that, Pam, is the woman's voice. And I felt, so much that there was a much needed, platform to give more of a presentation and representation for the chiropractic woman. And I think that now we're starting to see that the chiropractic future depends on the shoulders of the women, and it depends on the voice of the woman. And something you taught me on our interview was what a mama practor was. And that, now I have some new arsenal to my vernacular.
Right? That's a good word. It is. I know. I also use lady practor, so that's one of my hashtags on Instagram, lady practor. Hashtag lady. I just want to say hey to Jennifer Rosenhart. I'm so proud of her. You know, she's also another person that's really getting her voice out. And so, yeah, I'm grateful for you too, Jennifer. I'm so glad you're here today. And I just really appreciate your voice in chiropractic. She's doing amazing things with Clothes for Chiro.
Yeah, they definitely have something really special that they're doing for the chiropractic profession. And, they support the heck out of what we're doing too. And I had a chance to actually see Jennifer out at Cal Jam. So we had a chance to embrace each other a little bit and share a little glee with seeing a star in the profession.
Oh, yeah, she's amazing. Yeah, it's great. I love it. I love watching it happen. Fun. And she's helping so many people. So it's a great thing.
Dr. Sean Rundle, the most handsome man in chiropractic, just
self-acclaimed, right?
Yeah, self. Yep. But nonetheless, he is chief closer for the closing team of Close for Chiro, and I just love what they're doing as a team, and they support me so much. So why not support back? It just makes sense,
right? Share the love.
Mm-hmm. This is a no judgment zone.
Right. I know. I say that often in my community. I'm like, this is a shame-free zone. I like it.
So let's just recognize a few. Life West student Andrea Mosca, she raised her hand. So let's recognize her for a moment. And it's cool that there's so many people that participate with us. Do you want to take a quick shout out break and talk to a couple of these people?
Yeah, I was going to say, well, I have a little bit said howdy to Cindy and to Jennifer. I can't see the names of everybody who's on here. So I'm just going to assume that you're all fabulous and I'll say howdy.
So we have Andrea Mills Olivo.
Andrea. Yeah, we said howdy to her.
Jen Pad. I believe I'm saying her last name properly.
Hi, Jen.
She's going to be one of my guests coming up.
Oh, cool.
We have Cindy Elwart-Shaft-Toll, who is a massive supporter of what both of us are doing.
Right.
Andrea Mosca. Jennifer Rosenhart, like we just said, she's just doing really amazing things for the profession. There's some amazing speakers to be announced. So that is from Cindy Elwart-Shaft.
Oh, right. For her program in October, she's doing a program in Orlando. Really exciting women's chiropractic program.
And I think that if the stars align, I'll be down there helping with that as well.
Oh, cool. Are you going to be wearing like a wig and like a dress? And
no, I'm just going to be. I'm just going to be doing
culture. Think about what women have done. When we're in the patriarchal community, you got to give a little.
I am definitely going to interview all the amazing women there. So that'll be
fun. All right. That's given.
Gosh.
Great.
And now I know that people are dying for this part of the conversation. They want to know where they can see you. They want to know where they can hear your voice and maybe join your tribe for one of your events. So let's tell everyone where they can see you speak and a few of the highlights that are coming up over the next couple months.
Okay, well, that's very sweet. I always love meeting people in person. So if y'all show up at any of the programs, come give me a hug. I'm going to be at the ICPA Summit the first weekend in March, which is in Washington, D.C. That's run by Jeannie Ohm, and it's one of my favorite events. Incredible people coming together. One of the things that I think is extraordinary, there's so many things about Jeannie that I think are extraordinary, but one is that she really was one of the first people that started to bridge the gap between the caregivers, to moms and chiropractors. And so I remember going to one of her programs, one of the first summits, and I was just blown away at these people who I revered, had written books about childbirth, and they're there meeting us and getting to know our work and, Mothering Magazine and the partnership that she had with them. I'm really proud of her. And Pathways magazine, she just made so many contributions that just blow me away. And so anyway, I'm so honored and excited to be speaking at her seminar. And then I'm going to be speaking at New Beginnings and hanging out with you. And that's March 17th over St. Patrick's Day weekend. I'm excited because I believe our whole team is going to come and we're going to go into New York City. So that'll be fun.
Maybe I can join you.
Yeah, I have my own mastermind for Chiro Bloomers here in Boston in April, and I have my own program in Chicago for Chiro Bloomers in May 12th weekend. And then our big exciting thing for this year is going to Chiro Sushi in Vegas I'm going to be in Vegas. And so I'm excited about that with Tristan Schwab, who's doing an amazing job of bringing some really incredible speakers. I feel so excited and honored to be with the group that's coming together. But my fave is the latest one, which was JP Sears, the Prancerciser. I don't know if you've ever seen that video where he teaches people how to prancercise. It's freaking hilarious. And so I'm prancercising every day now.
I think that, what Tristan's doing is really something special in the chiropractic world. But like you said, also Jeannie Ohm, what she's doing is something very special. And she's OG, she's original gangster chiropractic. And
totally.
The things that she has done, I have to just just bow a little bit and say thank you to Jeannie for doing what she's done, for being such a trailblazer for the chiropractic women's profession as well.
Right. I know she really, and she, before it was, popular, and she probably encountered all kinds of challenges that we will never understand, and so I really admire and appreciate her so much. I couldn't shout her out more. Yeah. I'm really honored to be part of that program. Excited to bring some good value to it.
So let's turn back a little bit and talk about what Kyra Bloom is and what it means for people to get involved with that and how they can do that as well.
Oh, well, thanks. Kyra Bloom is a company that I created, and there's a lot of free support for chiropractors. I just have such a passion for chiropractic. I want people to be successful in practice. And what I saw with some of my favorite chiropractors were really struggling, and it just hurt my heart. And so I've always been helping, but then I just made it more official. So my website has a blog, and it has a very polished podcast that has great content. Then also some people come into my group for group coaching, and we do 2 live programs a week in our private Facebook group, so they can just participate in the Facebook group and experience the live programs. We do one that is about teams creating excellence. And I used to be a CA, so I really love to help train CAs to really be, I think they're instrumental in building our dreams. And so we have people from all around the world actually in there, and it's one of the greatest. I just love the group that's in there. And then I also do a master class for chiropractors, and I give them support about a lot of things. Yesterday was a mindfulness training, but I do things where I'm teaching them some of those sales techniques that I learned, marketing techniques. So I do marketing, sales, teams, profit building. And so, yeah, we do like a combination of business and fun, and that's what we love. And I do one-on-one coaching with people that I really love to do, and really very personalized, create accountability and plans. And anybody can find out about it on my website, kyrabloom.com. So thanks for asking about it. I love to help.
Yeah, I think that that's something that makes this platform unique, because it's a big share session, and it's fun to just chit chat and let people hear about what you're doing, a little bit about what I'm doing, where people can see us. I think it's just really, it's a very unique space that we hold here on Chiro Hustle. And I think that it's branded the right way because we're non-denominational. We bring all chiropractic voices into this. We don't leave anybody out. We think that, everybody's voice is important, and that we should just be, supporting the profession for what it is, and building the more unity that we build, the less confusion of an old conversation that we remember.
Yeah, I have to agree. And it's not always the easiest thing to do, though, to figure out how to create bridges between different groups and see our commonality and find respectful ways of communicating. That's not easy work, but hopefully it's good work, and we'll keep making progress. And I really appreciate that intention.
Yeah, and for me, it wasn't an easy place to come into. It was a hard space to be vetted into. Yes. And it took quite some time for me to continuously keep showing up and keep shaking hands and keep hugging people, and just let people know that I'm holding a space for chiropractic that's unique.
Yeah, I appreciate that about you.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you for saying that too. Just to me, it's there needs to be more people out there that are qualified to tell the chiropractic story and to have the conversation. Right. And honestly, I hope that more people figure this stuff out and start promoting more chiropractic conversations and getting more shows out there and interviewing people and doing a bigger job to support natural health. And, I had a conversation, like I was saying to you off camera, with a guy over that's starting clinics in China. They have chiropractors in hospitals over there. Are you kidding me?
Right. I know, it's amazing. right? And what I was sharing with Jim was that, that wasn't an option. I'm like a dinosaur. And I remember when, the first computer came into our house and we could do that dial-up AOL thing. It only took an hour and a half and soon we were on the interweb. So, I'm just kidding. But, now we can have these kind of conversations and create bridges. There's never been a time for us to launch a really clear message about chiropractic. I think that's the hard part in chiropractic is that we don't have a really clear message about it. And it'd be so great if we could, and also then, get that everywhere. It would be incredible.
And this gives us a good segue into talking about something you've been doing for a couple of years with the On Purpose group and getting real with Pam. Tell me a little bit about that, because I don't know, I didn't know about that until we had the early conversation.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was sharing with Jim that I love On Purpose because I was a listener when they first started. I was in chiropractic school, and it's with Dr. Patrick Gentempo and Christopher Kent. And you can just do a Google search for On Purpose Chiropractic. And, one of their taglines is, if you're on purpose, you're not alone. And so anyway, I'll put a link, below this video so that people can learn about it. But they regularly have been producing content for like 23 more, probably 30 years. I don't know exactly what the date is. And so I'm really honored to be a regular contributor on their show. And I do a segment called Keeping It Real. And I just try to, add support. And like just recently we did one on goals, which, you were talking about goals and your year goals. And so, we just try to find ways to support. But I admire so much, Christopher Kent is one of the brains I just love. I love how he thinks. And I love his perspective and his knowledge and his life experience. So it's just great to be able to contribute to that conversation.
And am I right or am I wrong? He just joined the Sherman team?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, which is really exciting. Yeah, he moved down to Sherman and he's contributing there, which, I mean, that's an incredible thing. Yeah.
That's like a huge move on the chess piece of life.
Exactly. Absolutely. That's a great way to capture that one. Absolutely. Yeah, there's some other great teachers there, and so it's really, but that to me is,
You've made it to Chiro Hustle Live. Sit back and learn from the greatest influencers in the profession. This episode is brought to you by Clothes for Chiro, Chiro Sushi, Barbara Eaton's 56-day chiropractic boot camp, California Jam, Move Well University, the Black Diamond Club, Pure Chiro Notes, the Chiro Dex app, Dr. Alok Trivedi, Chiro Spark, Chirogram, Chiropractic Wealth Management, 8 Weeks to Wellness, Integrative Freedom, and Element Mattresses. Let's hustle. Well, the cool thing about Sherman is since day one, they always have given me an open door. And when I first met Neil and Edwin, I sat down in their private office and I said, hey, this is who I used to be. This is who I am now, and this is where I'm going. And they both without any confusion, I just told them exactly what my intentions were with chiropractic.
Right.
And then they were like, well, anytime you want to come here and teach anything to our students, it's a highly viable opportunity for them to be able to see what you do and you're not a chiropractor.
Right. I know they're really wonderful people. I just love them. I get to speak at Assembly. I think it was like a couple of years ago, and just being on campus and being with the students, it's an incredible environment. I've been lucky enough to speak at Life West and their assembly also. I just love that environment. And, Kyra Bloom, one of the things I love about my company is that I contribute to chiropractic schools, research, student funds for seminars. And so a portion of Kyra Bloom goes towards supporting chiropractic. And I just wholeheartedly love that. I've always done it. That's one of the things I've wanted, is for it to give back in a big way.
Yeah, and that's just it. As philanthropy is one of those things with success, and too many people think that they have to sit on a nest egg of their resources, but the more you give, the more you get. Yeah,
well, it's just chiropractic has given so much to me. And I really feel like I don't know where I would be if I hadn't received that adjustment, one day when I stumbled into that chiropractor's office. And, so I really feel like it's such a blessing for me to have the life I have, and I'm so happy to give back.
And that's just it, is, our stories kind of parallel each other, because I started out working in a chiropractic office as well.
I remember, right. Yeah, that's wild.
Uh-huh. And then I didn't go on to become a chiropractor, but I went on to say, you know what, I see the people in this office get it. I see the groups of chiropractors get it, but there's a whole universe out there that doesn't understand this one simple word, which is chiropractic.
Well, you're actually making a point here. That's why I really love working with teams so much, and I really want to build them up, because I kind of feel like my boss when I first started was like, "You're secretary, figure it out." Like, kind of like, what your position is not that hard. Like, how hard is it to answer the phone? And what I see is that, look, someone like you're saying, "Oh, I didn't go on to be a chiropractor," as if that was a lesser step. You might be having a bigger impact on chiropractic because you're using your voice this way. And I'm often saying that to CAs, like, you have a voice that other people that, neutral, like, you're not the doctor talking. You don't really have, if you're saying it, it's because you believe it and you just want to support people and having the best possible care. So that non-attachment is really powerful, I think.
But that's just it, is when you get to working in a chiropractic office, you start touching lives.
Yeah. You see the difference. You just see it in people's eyes. You see it in the daily routine. I used to, when I would work in the chiropractic office, people would come in for their, first appointment and be like, "Ooh, that person is kind of mean. Like, I don't really like that person very much. Stay away 5 feet, whatever." I just have like a story in my head. And then 2 weeks later, I'd be like, "They are so nice." And then I started to realize, right? Like, it was just that people, their natural state is happiness. Babies aren't angry usually. I mean, unless they're in distress. And I really think our natural state is to be more towards love and kindness and connection with others. And so when people were in that natural state, it was really amazing to see how different they were. And I really was into that. I dug that.
Yeah, and that's just it, Pam, is when you start working with people and you start seeing the changes in them, you become friendly to them.
Yeah.
And they become friendly to you. And then you have to keep a secret room offside of the office to when the holidays come around, you can put all the sweets they give you.
Right? Because one of my CEs at one point, I have never experienced this before. Like, everyone is bringing me gifts. Like, I've never worked in a place where people appreciate me. I was like, they should appreciate you. You're a major advocate for their health, right? All the sweets. I recycle them. Like, they come in one door and then I'm handing them out the other door. Talk about gold. I'm on a really low sugar thing, like really trying not to eat sugar. And it's hard. There's sugar in everything, especially at Christmas time. People are like, "Oh, look, homemade fudge." And, I want to just inject that right into my veins. Like, here, someone else take that out.
but that's just it, is you get a chance to see people's lives change. And when people do come into a chiropractic office, they're usually not like whistling Dixie. Most people are pissed off and in pain, and they're disgruntled, and they want somebody to snap their fingers and make them better.
I teach my CAs, they're kind of like, they have brain damage. They do. So how we would give a wide berth to someone who has brain damage? We'd be like, "Oh, they're having a hard time. They can't hear what I'm saying. They can't follow directions. They're angry. They're irritable. They're in defense." That's everyone who's subluxated, pretty much. That's my experience. Or they're like, they have an affect of just not being really alive. So you're talking to like a brick wall. And so sometimes as a CA, I used to take that personally or have a personal reaction. And now I just have a really wide berth for it. Like, of course they're like that. Let's get them through this process as kindly and as procedurally, correct as possible, because at some point the light's going to come on and they'll be back and we can really teach them.
Yeah. One of the things I like to say, Dr. Pam, is pain is a hell of a motivator.
It is.
But the other side of the coin is symptoms sell. So when people come in with pain and we know we have to get them to the point of health and healing, that's a huge undertaking for the headspace of the practitioner.
Yeah, I think you're making a really good point. And the other thing, though, is that there's this invisible pain that we have to learn how to sell as well. Because that's what I had, when I started in chiropractic, was like an emotional and a mental, really tremendous amount of pain. So nobody ever told me about how chiropractic could help change the biochemistry that was happening in my body. And, we talk about that a lot in our office, is that, their personalities will change as a result of chiropractic care. So don't decide what someone's personality is when you first meet them, because it will change. Mine did dramatically.
And that just goes back to the early tenets of the philosophy, physical, chemical, and emotional. And those are the three stressors and the three subluxation goals.
Right. Yeah, we need to learn how to adapt better to all those things. It's adaptability that's amazing, right?
Well, one of the posts I made last night, or maybe it's the day before, was I'm looking for people with PTSD.
Oh, yes, yes, I saw
And,
that.
and what I want to do is interviews like this
Right,
to bring more awareness to it. The chiropractic can help with this emotional
right,
response to the damage that happens from our emotions.
right, yes. Mm-hmm.
And I do know that many people out there with PTSD might be a little bit guarded and talking about what's gone on in their lives. And I'm not interested in that. I'm
Right.
interested to know how chiropractic is having a positive influence on their psychology and on their physiology by getting care.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Adaptability is such an important conversation. Andrea is saying that would be her. So yeah, that might be a great conversation, an interview. I never was diagnosed with anything. But I just know what my internal world was like and how much it changed as a result of receiving care. And I see it with many people in my office, where they'll say, people don't even recognize me. I don't recognize myself. Really it's neurology, because you can be in fight or flight mode, which is your sympathetic nervous system, or you can be in growth and development, which is the parasympathetic. So, so many people are in a defended state, even in chiropractic, we're like patterned for defense sometimes when we don't really need to be defended from one another, but that's the way we perceive it.
And you just made a great point. That's a chiropractic profession. The chiropractic profession has been fight or flight for so long that now we need to bring each other and go arm to arm and go, in the same direction.
It's easier said than done, though, right? Like, that's why I was saying that's super tricky, because if you have a pattern your whole life where you think people are attacking you, they might say something that is not an attack and it's perceived that way, because that's the pattern that we're in, So, yeah, brain reward cascade gets released. Tom, thanks, Tom. Yeah, that's a great sentence. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
we love Dr. Tom.
Mm-hmm.
He's doing so much to help from a distance and within. And, he is one of the best personality integrators in the profession right now.
Right.
He is doing so much to interact with all the major groups. And what he's doing is absolutely amazing too, by supporting the heritage and the legacy of the Gonstead practice up there in Mount Horeb.
Right. Great job. Thank you, Dr. Tom.
Yeah, we love you, Tom. Thanks for being supportive and being a good friend of mine too. And let's talk a little bit about us setting some goals and taking care of ourselves a little bit before we jump off of this.
Right. Okay. Sounds good. Because I know you're on the big health kick, right?
Well, I can't be the best guiding light for a profession if I am subluxated in my personal life. So I'm looking inside and figuring out what I can do to be the best leader. And what I wanted to do is just share with everybody a little bit of vulnerability, because I guess those are things that sell this day and age, is transparency and vulnerability and authenticity.
Yeah, don't listen to that.
But that word authentic.
Anyway.
So I'm going to break down a couple barriers and let people know that this month I'm making some really big decisions for myself to be a good leader for myself, and not only myself, but for the people that appreciate me. And one of those things is getting boundaries set. One of them is getting better sleeping schedule, better eating regimens, better exercise schedule, which my assistant now is scheduling that for me. So I'm going to stay on point, because she manages my calendar for me, and I can't say no when it's on my calendar. But the big kicker, Pam, is cutting alcohol out of my life. And I just want to say, if anybody is out there that wants to join onto this path with me, send me a personal message, and I'll join you to my group for the next month. We're all going to practice these principles: eating better, sleeping better, and staying off alcohol, and getting into the gym and working out.
I love it, Jim. And I was really admiring this. We were having this pre-show conversation, and I was saying, like, my assistant schedules everything for me, but one of the biggest changes we've made this year is she's now chewing my food for me. And that helps so much, because chewing is hard and it takes a lot of time.
and I joked and I said, so she's really baby birding you.
Yeah. I'm a baby bird. I'm happy. Anyway, I love all you're doing, and I definitely support you from across the miles. Good for you.
Yeah, so anybody that I can be a positive influence on with healthy life choices, I just want to. You guys will see the change. You'll see it in my face. You'll see it in my shoulders. You'll see it
Yeah,
in
I'm
my
trying to bulk
arms.
up my
You'll see
shoulders
it.
too.
You'll
So
see it.
like, yeah, I
That
feel like
that arm is
I'm
puny.
doing cat curls. I got one cat in each arm, and my shoulders are getting bigger, and I feel really happy about it.
And then I said, grab the dog and do air squats and do some dog
I think
squats.
my dog keeps me busy. She is like a happy puppy. Oh, Elizabeth's saying she needs one of those assistants. I think to chew her food for it. I love Elizabeth. I just really want to give her a shout out. Elizabeth Welch Golov, I hope I'm saying your name right, is a teacher of structural adjusting, and she is magic. And so I just wanted to like give her a shout out. She's an incredible teacher and just has an amazing heart. I love everything she writes. I'm just like, hashtag Elizabeth, love her. And girl.
Yeah, and that's another thing is the more that we support each other, the more we get that self-confidence to do just one more thing, to take that 1 inch more, to get that one more win in our day, or
Right.
to get that one more win in our month, or to get that one more win in that conversation, and to give somebody a positive stroke, or to
Yeah.
congratulate somebody for just a small victory.
Yeah, we need one another. We really do. For a long time, chiropractors have been pirates, trying to do it alone. But we definitely need each other. And yeah, it's nice that we have each other. Oh, yeah.
And Pam, chiropractic, they do have the magic. The chiropractor has the magic in their hands. They have the magic in their minds, and they have the give, love, serve in their heart. And when you put that combination together, it is magic. And there's it's undeniable when you start putting care into somebody. You can see the transformation, whether it's their attitude from day 1 to day 5.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes I've been blown away. I will adjust someone and they sit up, and I swear their eyes, their face, they look so different. It's shocking to me. But it's funny because there is that magic, because there is a great mystery, as to like what's happening in that.
Let's be evidence-based.
Right? And so I love that, the privilege of being able to touch people. And I talk about this a lot, actually, to my clients. Like, think about it. Like, when I first started getting adjusted, there was no one in my life that was touching me. Like, that's a pretty intimate thing, that we put our hands on people as chiropractors every day. And I see some of us were like thinking about other things. And, some of my clients have admitted they're on Facebook while people are on the table. And I really encourage us to like remember how sacred it is and how important it is, and that our presence makes a huge difference when we actually put our hands on people. And the adjustment is just one of the best things we have to offer. So anyway.
By the way, I get to go in today with Dr. Nick Seacrest out here. I'll say this. I'm going to get checked and adjusted if necessary.
Yes. Yes. And that's a great thing, right? That is a great thing.
Because you have to get to see if we are subluxated before we need to get adjusted.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that most people, they just kind of misconstrue. They think that going to the chiropractor, it's an automatic adjustment.
Right. Yeah,
So,
I know. It's important also that we remember, like everything else, you get the test done, so we're going to do some tests and find out what's going on with you. And then we're going to take care of you as a result of that. It's important that we value it. When I first started again in chiropractic, my chiropractor would be like, oh, they can adjust you and they can adjust you and just go ahead and get adjusted. And that freaked me out. Like, I'd only had one doctor my whole life, so like at 19, I'd only ever had one doctor. So to have all these other people having a say over my healthcare felt kind of weird and too casual. And so anyway, that's just something I really respect when someone puts their trust in me. I respect that level of trust. And I also understand now. I'm just like, sort of like, woohoo, yeah, please adjust me. Not, I love to get adjusted. So, it's different for me, but I really love, the privilege of taking care of people and taking that process seriously.
and I think that that's something special that you just said is when you get a chance to take care of people, you can see that transformation happen in them. And it's more than, how much of a price tag we put on an adjustment or how much of a price tag we put on an education, but it's the connectivity of humanity. And when you start changing people's lives with your knowledge and with your hands, there's not a price tag you can put on that.
No way. I know. I wish that the culture we were at a place where the adjustment was $1,000 an adjustment. If you look at like laser eye surgery and how much that is for like 30 seconds, I wish that would change so much of our, experiences in practice. But even if the culture doesn't see it or the public doesn't see it, I see it. I see that value. And I really hope that we can come together just for a branding conversation on how to brand chiropractic in order to increase the value of it. But as chiropractors, we have to really hold that strong inside ourselves, because it's, revolutionary what we do for people. It's really quite extraordinary.
And I think that that's something special to say too. And I know we're coming up on the edge of our conversation today on the Chiro Hustle podcast live stream. So is there anything I didn't ask you that you'd like to share with our audience today?
Well, I think what I'd like to say is thank you. Thank you to you for inviting me to come here today. And thank you to the people who are watching and listening for everything that they do to improve the human experience, because whether or not they feel like it or whether or not they feel like people know, they make a huge difference. And I want to say thank you to my bloomers, because I love being able to help and to serve them. So it's an honor. And special thanks to Jeanne and to Jim DuBell and to Tristan for inviting me to speak. That's my first half of the year. And I'm just really looking forward to those programs. And I can't wait to be a part of the amazing community that is chiropractic. And yeah, I just feel a lot of love and appreciation, for all of it. So thank you for having me here again today.
Well, it's a lot of fun. I get a chance to speak to you. It's a very dynamic conversation. And I'm just going to go.
I just had to give Barry a shout out. I love him. And Dr. Barry, just started watching your show on YouTube. You're doing fabulous. And you look so fancy. He's got like a really nice black jacket. And I'm excited about Dr. Barry's show. Sorry.
Oh, cool. I haven't seen it yet. I'll have to take a look.
You're missing out, Jim. Just saying.
Dr. Barry, drop a link here in the comments. Yes. And then I'm going to go through all the comments, maybe read a couple before we jump off, and say thank you to all the people for being on. So I'm going to go back down to the original comments that were posted. And we have Andrea Mills, Olivo. Thank you for being on. It's kind of like, remember that show Romper Room? I see them.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yes. I know. Nobody ever said Pam. Just wasn't the name.
I know. I don't think Jim was a popular name back then either. But Dr. Cindy Elwart-Shaft, thank you for being such a massive supporter of what we do. Andrea Mosca, if you are interested in doing one of those interviews talking about PTSD, I'd love to have you on as a guest. You'll probably be featured in our next film project, Patient, because a big part of that's going to be talking about PTSD and how chiropractic helps non-traditional chiropractic cases other than neck pain and back pain. So that's going to be one of the angles that we touch on in that film. Jen Rosenhart, thank you for being on. Sean Rundle, the Close for Chiro team. We missed the triad of Dan Bay on this one, but he's much loved in the chiropractic world. And then I'm just going to scroll up a little bit further. Tom Potisk, Elizabeth Welsh, Go Love, Love You. That's a sweet last name, by the way. And Dr. Barry Hobbs, thank you for being on. And I want to thank the New Beginnings group for having both you and I out there, and Tristan Schaub and the Kyra Sushi family for having us a part of it. And yeah, please post that link in there, Dr. Barry. But Pam, love you to pieces. It's been an honor to be able to have you on the show today. And I'm just going to close out with our sponsor to recognize them. That is Dr. Charles Francis with the Integrative Freedom. If you guys are in the need for anything to add to your chiropractic life as a weight loss practice, I know chiropractic is not weight loss and weight loss is not chiropractic, but if you're looking for that addition of stream of income, reach out to Dr. Charles Francis with Integrative Freedom. There we have it. Thank you. We'll talk soon, okay?
Sounds good. Thank you.
See you, Pam.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Chiro Hustle Live. Don't forget to subscribe and check back next week to continue hustling.